I'm a squatter, and somebody seems to have stolen my stolen land.
I'm not saying to steal land. What I'm saying is that there is a way to take land by adverse possession.
So what happens when the police show up? Well, I'm about to tell you, because this nosy neighbor right here decided to call the police on me and my uncle because we were taking over possession in broad daylight. There's 1, 2, and 3 cop cars. Y'all, I wasn't scared. Why? Because I know the law. This is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. Therefore, only the owner of record can have me removed for trespassing. So I continue to have my uncle post no trespassing signs right there in front of the police. So guys, if you want to learn from somebody who's done it, I'm not just giving you AI fluff information. Continue to follow this page, y'all. I'm giving y'all the game.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Property owner shows how they remove squatters. Home sweet home or home cheat home? Self-proclaimed squatters and adverse possessors are taking over TikTok and acting like every empty house is their personal Airbnb. They think they're entitled to take your home. Well, we think they're entitled to take a permanent stay in the county lockup.
I'm a squatter, and somebody seems to have stolen my stolen land. When I was in my early 20s, I found a beachfront property that I wanted. It kind of looked like a jungle. So I tried to find the owner so that I could buy it, and when I did a title search, found that it was actually 2 parcels of land and that the last owner died in the 1950s and they didn't have any children. They were never married. And then an attorney told me about adverse possession. This exists in most countries, and it is when you claim land as your own and maintain it, and if no one comes forward after a certain period of time, depending on where you are, it could be 10 years, 12 years. After that period of time, you own the land and you get the title. So I became a squatter. I fenced off the property and started maintaining it, and although I haven't lived there, I have taken care of it for more than 10 years. Nobody's ever come forward and said, hey, that's mine, or like, who fenced off that property? And it's in a very gossipy neighborhood where if someone actually owned it, they would have said something. So I am almost at the point where I can declare the land as my own and like get the title for it. And there's a for sale sign outside of the property. And something I find very suspicious about this listing is not only has it just about been enough time for someone to come forward and say, I've been squatting, like that's my fence, I've been taking care of the land, but in the description of the listing, the division of the land, like it is 2 lots, but the size of the lots is not the same as what it said when I got the title. Like the parcels are different sizes. So either someone else stole my stolen land and then like had the lots divided, or some relative of this person who died in the 1950s has appeared. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to find the person that is selling it. And if it is not someone who is related to the person who had the title when I did the title search, then we're going to have a problem.
Sheer hubris.
From homeless to claiming 1.5 acres using adverse possession. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of adverse possession. If you claim the right type of abandoned property, you don't have to worry about the statutory period in which you have to be there. And using this method is how this man went from homeless to claiming 1.5 acres in a week. But you still want to listen to the troll in the comments or the negative press that's out there to dissuade you from using something that can benefit you. And we got this affidavit of adverse possession filed today on record. So if you want to learn how to do adverse possession, comment me in the comments and I'll get to you. Because myself and others are using adverse possession to claim the right abandoned properties in order to gain title over time. And I'm 4 years in living rent and mortgage free.
FBI, open up!
All the people coming in and being like, oh, don't you think it's immoral to tell people to take land from people? Don't you think people work hard for their money? Yada, yada. You know what I think is immoral? People die every winter and every summer from the elements because they don't have any place to live. And they don't have any food to eat. And they don't have anywhere to use a restroom or wash themselves, and we got abandoned buildings. Do I think it's immoral? No. Nah. Take land. Acquire land by adverse possession. All I'm doing is telling people, everyday people who are in poverty or in the middle class, I'm just telling them the information that is used by rich people all the time.
Well, tell me who you voted for without telling me who you voted for. Ugh.
So we got another "that's stealing someone's property" comment. So let's just break it down so they can see how crazy they really sound when they make this comment. Let's just say you decide to move out the country, no longer want to live in America. You're never coming back. So you decide to leave your legacy, your land or your house, to your heirs, to your children. The problem is they decided that they didn't want to take care of the property. They don't want to be a homeowner. They don't want to fix the property. They want to let the house fall in. They don't want to mow the grass. And unfortunately, they don't want to pay the taxes. But then someone like me come along and I'm like, I don't mind. I'll do it. And then the law says, okay, you can do it. But her heirs has 10 years to come back and remove you from this property. You know that before you take over the property. Okay, cool. Your heirs decide they never want to come back. So within that 10 years, they never came back to claim the legacy that you left them. Did I steal it? Did I steal your property? Because I stayed there 10 years waiting on them to come put me off, and they never did. Did I steal it? Am I a thief, or are your heirs irresponsible? Because adverse possession, contrary to what you believe, is about punishing irresponsible property owners. You don't have the right, nor your sorry heirs, to leave land laying around dormant, unused, to rot, when it could be used for farming, for housing, for all types. So how did I steal it again? Oh, okay. I thought so.
Instagram filters can hide facial flaws, but they can't hide your moral flaws. In my opinion, there are many instances where something like this is absolutely considered to be stealing. Typically, if a house is really abandoned and the property taxes aren't being paid on it, it's going to go up for sheriff's sale and you could purchase it that way. But there may be a situation like an heir is overseas for a long period of time, perhaps in the military, and they don't even know that they have inherited land. Or family members are paying for medical bills or taking care of sick loved ones, and dealing with the paperwork for property just kind of, especially if it's out of state, just kind of falls to the wayside. The person who inherited the property, once again, could be out of state and doesn't have the money to go and visit the property, and then they have no idea that you've moved in. And it is not out of the question for an estate to get tied up in probate court for more than 10 years. No, I think we're going on 3 years with my grandmother's estate. Things just don't move quickly. And finally, sometimes an heir is a minor and they have to grow up before they can do any of this paperwork. So the example that she gave is the one that puts her in the best light. And since she wants to come off like she is somebody who has the moral high ground, what if it is one of these situations, right? What if the person who inherited the property was a child at the time and they're not a lazy bum, they're just a child? Is she then going to deed the property back over to the rightful heir because through no fault of their own, they were not able to handle the legal paperwork? Somehow, I suspect not. Somebody needs to swap out this woman's high horse with a donkey because she is a real jack.
Did you know that somebody can take possession of your home, of your land, without ever purchasing it from you or without even inheriting it? They can, and it's through this legal principle called adverse possession. I'm an estate planning attorney. In my last video, I talked about adverse possession. I want to define that term for you a little bit more. Every state defines adverse possession differently, but in general, adverse possession is a way that somebody can legally gain title to your home or your land simply because they occupy it. There are certain elements that have to be met in order for you to adversely possess somebody else's land. For example, the use has to be continuous, it has to be hostile, it has to be open, you have to actually possess the land, and you have to be using it exclusively. And you have to be doing all of these things for a certain period of time. So for example, you could find a plot of land somewhere and you're using it, you have exclusive use to it, you built something on it, no one has ever stopped you from doing it for the required time period, and that it's hostile. You're letting everybody know this is your property and don't trespass. Some jurisdiction require 7 years of doing that, some require 30 years. It just all depends. But if you've met all of those elements, then you might be able to legally claim title of land through adverse possession.
Well, it's good to have a lawyer define what adverse possession is, but I still don't really feel any better about the situation. I could see in a limited number of situations where something like this could be beneficial to the community, but I really feel like something like this is going to do more harm than it is good. I buy me a coffee link to buy Leroy a dog treat. Leroy, stop that. You're so cute. Oh, I love you. I love you. You guys steal the show. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Red Dawn Daily with your host, me, Dawn Marie, and sometimes Leroy. Leroy, you're not bored, are you? Leroy, did you know that 9 out of 10 people only watch to see you? Yeah. I'm just kind of here holding space for you. It's true. It's true. Leroy, you're so much fun. You're way more fun than any puppet. Right, Leroy?